Hi students, today we are just going to see the supplementary chapter of 10th, that is the name of the supplementary books. I hope you know the footprints without feet, and the main textbook that we know the first flight, and the footprints without feet, and here we have around 10 stories. Actually the purpose of these stories are to know much about this the word, the sentence structure, as well as it will help you to develop your imagination. Okay, that's the reason that the CBSE had introduced these supplementary books. Early it was novel, but this year or last year onwards CBSE has introduced it in 10th standard the supplementary, and this supplementary is known as footprints without feet. It sounds well when we just look at the title of the name of the book itself. It sounds well, the footprints without feet. It's about creating the imaginations and developing your ideas to even help you to write the story itself. And here, as I told you that we have around 10 stories, and this 10 story, the first story itself, it will help you to think over it. What is the exact chapter's name? What's the exact purpose of creating this particular giving this particular title, that is the triumph of surgery. Actually, you know the meaning of triumph. The triumph means win over, means victory. Triumph of surgery. The surgery word, that surgery, whether it is surgery or undergoing or some kind of operation or something, that it keeps us a suspense. That will come to at the end of the story. But here you are just going to see whether it was a real surgery or whether it was a after the surgery he came out successfully. Who is maybe the character? He came out successfully. Maybe the character, when you just main character, once you come to know, you will be just wondering what is exact character of this. Who is this main character of this particular story is. So here, as I am going to introduce you right now, the main character of the story is Tricky. The word tricky itself will make you astonished, because the first time Tricky is the character. Tricky is a character. A character means a character animal, a dog, a little dog. That's the name of the character Tricky, a dog, a little dog. A little dog, that's a character. And another character is the Tricky's mistress. That is, the mistress name is Mrs. Pumphrey. The spelling, the pronounce Pumphrey, P-U-M-P-H-E-R, P-H-E-R-E-Y, Pumphrey, Mrs. Pumphrey. And how the story starts? The story starts as it is. When the story starts, you just to see that the story starts, it's in such a beautiful way. The Tricky, the character, just falls ill, and she calls. So she calls a vet. The vet means a veterinary surgeon. So you know the meaning of vet. A veterinary means one who looks after the domestic animal. If it's suppose the animal gets some kind of heart or some kind of treatment. On a sudden we call the vet, the veterinary surgeon. And the veterinary surgeon itself is the author here. That's the name of the author. Now you just comes to know, because the name of the author itself, James Herriot. James Herriot is the name of the author. And then the author just comes, the veterinary, he himself was a veterinary surgeon, and he just as the call just reach over him, and he just comes there and to look after the Tricky. What happened exactly to this dog? When he comes there, it is wonderful. When he comes there, he just sees the even what when just watch the dog is not able to get up properly, walk properly. He just lays over there, and he just observed. While he was observing, he understood that the dog was not able to fall as because the dog itself was just fat. The reason for putting fat, because the Mrs. Pampere, the mistress of the dog, okay, one who, okay, dog was giving, okay, giving lot of food. Lot of food. When we give lot of food, no, it's okay. Chocolates and everything he used to give, the other kinds of alcohols, okay, everything he used to, okay, she used to give to these dogs, this dog. Sorry. And because of that, he was putting more fat, and he did not have the much exercise, and even if the mistress did not, Mrs. Pampere did not take this dog to the for exercise. And we just comes to know, when we just start, the story start itself with, okay, when the surgeon is called, the veterinary is called, the veterinary, the James Harriet asks, okay, do you have plenty of exercise to this dog? And here Jesus speaks, comes to know that the Mrs. Pampere says, no, okay, we have a little walk. But exactly, she was not ready to, reluctant to say that she did not take the dog outside for a good walk or morning walk, whatever it is, for exercise. She was not ready to say, because she herself knew that she was not taking her own dog to Tricky outside for good exercise. Enough exercise. She did not used to give enough exercise. That's why she was reluctant to say that, okay, a little walk. As soon as when he, even while he was observing, by giving some kind of food, while observing the doctor, okay, he understood that the main problem of Tricky, the dog, is nothing but the greed. The greed, the word meaning greed, you know, maybe, okay, knowing the word meaning greed, the greed itself says nothing but, okay, to have more and more kinds of attraction towards the food. How much he eats, whatever he gives at any time, he, okay, used to eat. And the word greed and the foodie both are entirely different. The foodie is one who attracts, okay, it's well good, okay, he likes food, he likes to eat his food, like to taste the food, different kinds of food. That's foodie. Okay, but the greed is different thing. To eat at any time, whatever gives, no limit. And he understood, the doctor understood that, okay, well, its main problem of this dog is nothing but the, okay, greed. And doctor, just after observation, he just tells the Mrs. Pampere that what you have to do is that nothing, you have to give much exercise to, okay, this dog, only then he will be coming out from this so-called illness. Mrs. Pampere agreed. Okay, so just agreed. She says, okay, well, I am ready to give the the exercise to the dog. And just veterinary veterinary surgeon just left from the place, and again he comes back to the house of the Mrs. Pampere and just to observe. And as soon as he just every day used to come, or for 1 week or 2 weeks, he used to come there and observing. He understood that this dog is not going to recover unless and until he has to do something for this one. So he suggests there, okay, what he suggested, what was his suggestion? His suggestion was nothing. He used to suggest, okay, what, to take the dog to be to the hospital, to be hospitalized. The hospitalized meaning, these kinds of words you have to know why you use the textbook too, because these kind of words is hospital and hospitalized, and okay, so the breed, the triumph, these kinds of words will help you to, okay, have the more vocabulary too. That means that is the purpose of this, okay, introducing these supplementary books, as I told you from the beginning. Okay, so then, okay, so he has to admit in the hospital. Okay, the dog has taken to the hospital. While he was taking the hospital, the people, even the Mrs. Pampere, the mistress, was just okay in a deep sorrow. And even the housemaids and the servants over there just comes and giving a, okay, bye-bye and see up to the bye-bye and see up to this, whatever it is, okay, to while he was taking to the dog to the hospital. And she was in filled with tears, Mrs. Pampere. And she was just standing there and giving bye-bye to this dog and the doctor. And the doctor just was looking at through the mirror, and he understood that, okay, he saw that, okay, the Mrs. Pampere was filled with tears. because the relation between the Tricky, the dog, the little dog, and Mrs. Pambre is okay, unconditional. So the word unconditional love, we used to say, there is no condition for love, the unconditional love. So okay, she was in full tears, and okay, as soon as he reaches over there, and while okay, they were just going, she had given everything to this Tricky, means in the sense to play with all the toys and other toys and toffees and whatever the things, eatable items and everything she had given to the dog with the doctor. And she asked him to take care of her, okay, little dog, that's Tricky. And once they reached where in this place called that particular the hospital, when he was hospitalized, when the Tricky was hospitalized, there were okay special beds for him to be okay lay over. And even all the toys and toys and other eatable items and edible items were there, okay, which were sent by the dog's mistress, that is Mrs. Pambre. While Miss Pambre was okay pampered, pampering and Pambre both pampered once while taking care of this, okay, much more attention, giving much more care. And that's the reason that she had given everything to okay hospital while she was the dog was taken to the hospital. As soon as okay they reached the hospital, what he done, the veterinary, he got just from the dog was given by the Mrs. Pambre, and he did not give the food items to the dog. And what he had done, he had given for starting for 1 or 2 days only the water given to this dog. The next day what happened, okay, the dog was not okay, not well start to even whatever the some of the little items which he had used to give to other dogs. There were other dogs too in the hospital, because it is a domestic animals okay hospitals, okay, because he is a, as you told you, that's a veterinary surgeon. Whatever the other dog used to eat, the same food that he had given to this okay Tricky too, but Tricky was not ready to accept the food. But the next day, Tricky was just jostling. Jostling means which was trying to push with the other dog. When the other dogs, okay, also coming and pushing and try to eat the food, okay, the same way, the next day, okay, she started to move little bit. And he just jostling. Jostling means just to push for the food. Then he understood the dog, the James Harriet, the surgeon itself understood a slight improvement, yes. Then what he had done, okay, so it's a slight improvement, he understood on a slight improvement, okay, but he had given what, okay, he just to made a complete diet. Because from the beginning we understand that the doctor, when just observed the dog, he understood there was a malnutrition in the sense there was no proper diet for the dog. So he kept a proper diet for the dog, Tricky. And what was it, according to the diet, okay, this giving the food and other items, water, everything, this is okay Tricky. And other things are we just comes to know this particular story is that every day, every hours, at least after each and every hours, and every day she used to ring up to this dog, Dr. James Harriet. What is the condition? Asking for the dog. Asking for this means okay to asking for the health of the dog, whether the dog is getting improved or not. So one day what happens, the doctor told that okay, it's getting convalescence. The convalescence word you are just coming across in this chapter, that's a special word that is also you have to just remember, because these kinds of words, when the praise and everything, the vocabulary, when you just write down, okay, when do you get the question, that will really help you to okay the examiner, because when you just go through the examiner, he will be getting some kind of understanding whether you have gone through the textbook and you understand the story very well. He can give the mark according to the wordings. So that may be the reason. Okay, so the convalescence in the sense means convalescing means getting improved. So he would have said, okay, in getting improved, instead of that he is to use this particular word, convalescence. and that really struck to the Mrs. Pumphrey. And all of a sudden, when she heard the word the convalescence, she started to send the items, different items to this dog, to the hospital for her dog Tricky. And it is interesting when we just go through the story. It is very much interesting that you will just come to know that what are the items that she used to send. The food, main foods, drinkable items means either so rum, whiskey, brandy. These are the items she used to send. But doctor, what he had done, he understood that if suppose he gives these kind of items to the dog, again we start to put up the weight. So what he had done, he just to start to enjoy himself. Whatever the items sent by Mrs. Pumphrey, he and his friends on the hospital staffs and his friends started to enjoy the food and other items. He never gives whatever sent by Mrs. Pumphrey. So when everything was sending, as soon as whatever things he was sending, the doctor used to enjoy the items which was sending, and he was just enjoying himself in the name of dog. These things, these kinds of things were not coming to the notice of the Mrs. Pumphrey. This is another part of the story. She thought that my dog is getting Tricky, is getting better and better, convalescing every day, day after day. So because of that bit more health, she used to send, but she was not knowing the doctor was enjoying whatever she had sent. And why the doctor had enjoying? Doctor, not simple for the name of the enjoyment, but he does not want the dog to go back to the same position, the weak position. He was just the dog, as from the very beginning of the very picture, we understand that the dog was not able to get up on his own legs because of the so fat. And doctor doesn't want to, or did not want to send the dog the same condition. So what? Then what happens on a fine day that she just comes there. The doctor said, now he is okay. You're Tricky, the dog is okay, well and good. Now you can take the dog back. All of a sudden, she heard the doctor's these words. She just comes at the very moment she just reached at the doorsteps of hospital, where the dog was hospitalized. As soon as the dog saw the Tricky Zoo, what his mistress, Mrs. Pumphrey, he jumped to the Pumphrey. And Pumphrey just wondered, looking at the dog, because it was an entirely different one, because it was so healthy. Because he regained his health. Tricky regained his health. Because he regained his health, he looks very handsome, handsome. So when the dog when the Pumphrey just looked at the dog and just told the doctor that, thank you doctor, you have done a wonderful thing, wonderful surgery. And doctor told that it was all about the triumph of surgery. The triumph of surgery in inverted comma, a triumph of surgery. That's the title of the chapter, the triumph of surgery. Triumph, victory, win over of surgery. It is what win over surgery. Actually, the fact, one who read the story of this triumph of surgery, the chapter, we understand that actually there was no surgery, there was nothing at all. But it was all about the proper diet, proper exercise of the doctor had given to Tricky, the dog, the little dog. So that's a title, the very suitable title had given to this chapter, the triumph of surgery, by James Harriet. So this is a story all about. Now when you just go through this story as it is a textbook, you understand, it will be more easy to understand that. And the question, when we just look at the question, we understand much more clear and better. There will be questions many in a different way. Once you understood the plot, then you have to understand the characters. When you understand the characters, just like the relation between Mrs. Pumphrey and Mrs. Pumphrey and Tricky, there will be a question. Okay, what is the relation between or relationship between Mrs. Pambury and Tricky, the little dog? One question can be asked like that, or next question can be asked in then another way. Okay, so this questions, okay, 2 questions you will be getting in the exam from the supplementary. That, okay, so the same stands for 8 mark. So these 2 questions you have to attempt. Again, there is a slight changes in the exam pattern, not like that. Okay, so there is in 2020 because of this pandemic, okay, COVID-19, there is a slight changes in the exam patterns that also will be introducing in the next class. So you will understand that, okay, 2 questions, the 2 questions you have to attempt, and there can be another question can be asked. Okay, so the character sketch of the veterinary surgeon James Herriot. As I told you, the veterinary surgeon itself is the author James Herriot. That is another character you are just going to see. Then another float. Okay, this then how was the, okay, curing of the dog, okay, Tricky? So another question you will be getting. So once you understand the story, it will be easy. Actually, the supplementary which is given by CBSE to the students of 10th standard, it will be easy. Once you yourself read, you understand all the stories very well. But only the thing is that you have to go through the some words which is, okay, given there. Some of the words as I told you over there. So it will help you to, okay, try to get develop your imagination. Once you develop the imagination, these kinds of 10 story, this 10 story may help you to write in the writing section, that's the story writing. That's another thing. The 10 stories, once you read the supplementary 10 stories, 10 chapters, okay, so that will help you to develop, okay, for your which section, okay, story writing section, in the writing section. So that also stands for the 12 mark, because you are getting many kinds of, okay, phrases, words, vocabularies, ideas. Okay, so they twist different kinds of tubes, that also will help you to develop your writing. Okay, that's the reason what happens. Okay, the CBSE itself, they are given the stories. So these stories are of weakness questions mainly you have to go through. Only then you will just understand, okay, that will help, will able to write the paper, the answer properly, because 8 mark, 16, that you cannot leave. So, okay, thank you very much. This will be enough, okay, for today's class, and some of the questions I will send you through the WhatsApp. Till that time, bye bye, take care.